Ladies and gentlemen, let's do a heater core in this thing right here. Buick enclave. Now the thing we're after is up in there someplace, but we don't have to take the entire dash out, and that's awesome. That's right, as annoying as these things are with their 3.6 liter VVT engine that sucks, and their 6T75 transmission that also sucks, it's not that difficult to replace a heater core in this car. First thing we got to do is remove this oil cap so we can remove this engine cover. That's not supposed to come apart this way. And you might be wondering, what are we doing under the hood if all we're doing is inside of the vehicle? And what I'm doing in here is we just got to take this out of the way so we can clamp off the lines going to the heater core inside of the cab. Next is this little guy right here. Just push in on that good and hard, and that's not supposed to come apart that way either. This idiot should quit breaking shit. Got the green tools out because the green kind today, but not this color of green kind today. Sort of a chunky avocado that's both slippery and sticky at the same time. Greasy. Now I'm just going to reach back up in there with some clamps and pinch those lines off. There we go. That'll minimize the amount of fluid that ends up on the floor. I'm going to start with these interior panels right here. They just got this little push rivet thing in there. And there's this thing right here. That just sort of snaps in there. And you'll be looking at some stuff like this right here. Now we're going to move this vent right there, and that's a couple of Torx bits. Looks like a T25. That's actually a T15. They weren't sharpening the tools the day I went on the market, I guess. Now we got this cover right here. Same thing, couple of T15s. I always forget that back screw. It's okay, it pulled out of there just fine. Now we've got these two little clamps right here, and the next one right there. They're actually an Allen wrench of some size, but your T15 turns them out just fine. And those are the thingies right there. Now I recommend you put a piece of plastic down or something right here, because a little bit of fluid will come out when you pull those lines off. I did plastic and a towel that I brought from home my wife didn't like anymore. Now I just need to pull on this thing. Alright, it's apart. Let's try to manage the fluid for a minute. Then you just pull the top one back and out of the way. You want to be careful with the ends of those lines. You don't want to mess those up because then you'll have to buy lines. And this just slides out like a little cassette. Now just take note of how everything is on your old one. You've got this weather stripping stuff right there, and right there you've got these two O-rings. Your new heater core comes with all of that stuff, and you want to put it back the way that it came apart. Over here to the super clean workbench. And this is what we got. Now we're just going to pull everything out of here, trying not to lose anything. We've got these little screws for our clamps. We got our little clamps, and we've got our O-rings. We're just going to put this weather stripping on the way it was on the other one and set this stuff aside for now. Nailed it. Well, I got it pretty close enough. You don't have to worry too much about this part because it will work without the weather stripping, just not as well. It's like my Aunt Scooty always said, don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. Now we just got to put these O-rings in with some non-petroleum grease. I'm just lubricating these O-rings with some silicone grease. This will help it go together without ripping the O-rings, and it'll keep everything sort of stuck in place. Or stuck to my fingers. Just gingerly wiggle this thing up in there. Don't force it, just in case it snags on something. It should slide in relatively easy. Clamps over the lines with the big end facing the heater core, small end on the line, and we're just going to put these guys together. I failed to show how much of a fight those clamps are. What I will say is if it goes together too easily, you might want to take it back apart and make sure you have the O-rings in there. If it goes together too hard, you might want to make sure the O-rings are in there right. Now we just got to put the thing back together. We start by putting this in here. You can see the screw I forgot to take out back there. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to put this guy up in there and screw it back. It's got that little plastic leg that sort of hooks underneath behind that, like such, before you snap it in place. And put your screws in, both of them. Then, of course, your little venny do. Finagle this stupid thing back down into place somehow. Probably going to take two hands. Trick is, once you got it down in there, you got to kick the bottom out so it'll pass all this. Then you can put it in there if you don't snag it like I did there. This thing's just looking. Aha! Once it's there, we can kick the bottom in. Then we got to line it up with all its little snaps and pop it in place. Then this thing, which just sort of locks into that thing we just put in, and 3 little push rivets hold it up. There. Take our little clamps off the lines and we can hook up our air cleaner again. We'll get our clamps tightened up, and then we just got to fix some of the dumb stuff we broke. That's this guy right here, and this just goes like that, and it's new again. He attaches to that ting down there like such, and then goes right, yay, something like that. Now I got to put this on here. I guess that'll have to do. Now we'll just see how good that heat works.